Welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny. That is Sal. And sometimes we're joined by two other guys. But today, it's going to be the two of us talking about Easter eggs and references within the Batman. No, I'm not wearing the same shirt for 4 videos in a row. We're still filming this on Monday.
I mean, you are technically wearing the same shirt.
Okay,
but it has been washed.
And if you also like to wear the same shirt, even if you don't wash it, please consider joining the Absolute Armada by hitting like, subscribe, and joining our little family here. All right, so for those who are new to the channel, a lot of times Sal and I wait a couple days to see what everyone lists as Easter eggs or references.
It's way easier.
Well, it is easier, and every one of the brother does them within minutes.
Yeah.
And then they all just steal from each other to make a more complete list over and over and over.
Yeah.
So we just realized that it's kind of a waste of time to also do that. And instead, we normally play a little game where I grab the largest list that I can find that is flagged as Easter eggs. And we decide if it's an Easter egg, a reference, or padding for the article.
Yeah.
I'm adding in that third one because we never knew what to really call that. We're calling it padding. It's padding for the
is
article.
Absolutely what it is, yeah.
So we're going to be doing that today, and we're going to kick it off with, I got this one. It seems to be the most full, it literally names itself, complete DC Easter eggs and references. So,
okay.
First off, I want to give Den Geek credit for putting references in the title because no one ever does.
Where they got it from? Like citations?
No, they're stating that some of these are just references to the comic.
Oh, cool.
No one ever does that. They always just say it's an Easter egg, and that's always what starts our conversation.
Uh-huh.
Batman. Okay. We're going to skip over. Apparently, they talk about how there's references to Zorro, Scarlet Pimpernel, and Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
That's definitely just padding. That's like...
we get it.
Batman 101.
Exactly.
Although we first hear Batman speaking in a voiceover, the first thing that he says in the flesh is, "I'm vengeance," after beating up the Joker-faced gang leader. By the way, the Joker-face thing makes more sense now.
Yes, it does. Oh my God, yeah. Watch our Joker episode to find out why.
Yeah. "I'm vengeance" is perhaps the Batman catchphrase, usually shouted into a bad guy's battered face. The line seems to have been first delivered by Kevin Conroy in Nothing to Fear episode The Batman the Animated Series, to become a staple of the character ever since. "I am vengeance, I am the night, I'm Batman."
Right.
Reference, definitely.
Yep.
I don't think that was an Easter egg per se.
No, it's just cool. Because, people call him Vengeance, like, derisively, like, for fun.
Yeah.
So,
come on, Vengeance.
Exactly.
I liked how Penguin kept calling him that, too.
Yeah, right?
We also have that Reeves says that 3 comics inspired him: Batman, Batman Year One, Long Halloween, and Ego. The first 2 stories will go more in detail below, but Ego is a very deep dive into the Dark Knight's psyche as he struggles to balance his true self and the mask that he wears as Bruce Wayne. Something very present in the portrayal of the billionaire turned vigilante.
Yeah.
It's definitely a reference. I'll agree with that because of my problems with the Bruce Wayne portrayal. That's definitely what we were going for here.
Okay, yeah. The Ego book is really about him and his impact on Gotham, and somebody basically kills themselves in front of him, and it traumatizes him. But like in any case, I like the idea that Pattinson uses that book as an impetus behind getting the character right. So I'm like, yeah. But is that the movie, or is that just the actor doing that? I don't know. Like,
it's a little bit going around that he said in an interview. Someone asked how he got into the mood to play the character of Batman every day. And he jokingly said, "Well, I started every day by playing Sonic Adventure 2. So I could see how Shadow dealt with the loss of his friend at the beginning." I was like,
did he really say that? That's amazing.
Apparently he really said that in an interview. I don't know how true that is, but...
Well, you'd love him because he also is a big Final Fantasy VII fan.
Is he?
You should watch his interview.
No wonder the hair. No wonder the hair made sense.
Right? Yeah, no, that's true. Oh my God. He's clown.
We're talking about our own references now as to his portrayal of Batman.
Exactly.
The movie takes place in year 2 of Batman's career. Don't expect him to wield a gun or partner up with Joe Chill as he did in Batman Year 2.
No.
Setting the movie up in the second year of the Vigilante's mission is not only a good way to move past the origin story. Several movies have already covered. But okay, well, yeah, we knew. They said year 2.
They
like
say
for
year
the first
2. It's not the book. That's not a reference.
That is fluff. That is padding for your article.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They say, "Oh, it's been 2 years." Like, 30 minutes into the movie, they're just constantly saying it.
We're good. That's not anything.
And they explain that they didn't want an arc where he becomes Batman and faces off against a rogues gallery. We wanted to see an imperfect Batman that would be driven to do what he's doing almost like it's a drug. Addicted to being Batman because it's really an attempt to cope with the things in the past that we don't see.
Nice.
They did a great job of that.
Yeah. That's
But
cool.
that is definitely
not a
padding
reference.
for an article. Yeah, it's not a reference or an Easter egg.
Yeah.
For the bat suit, the costume designers looked at stuff from the Vietnam War, military tactical stuff that one guy could put together and allow him to fight better.
Okay.
Padding, also padding.
Yep,
Like
total padding. That's not anything.
Yeah.
That's just.
Did you know the suit looks realistic, Sal?
Right. That's audio commentary info. Thanks. Cool. That's neat.
We get to see a new version of the grappling gun in the film that feels like
Yes.
a straight out of a pulp magazine, having it down to an actual gun shape. Batman has employed several climbing tools. It just goes on to the
He
history of
just
the
has
grappling
a
gun.
grapple gun. That's cool, and I like seeing it.
It's padding. That's padding again in the article to make you to have the most complete. The reference is that he has a grapple gun. No, I'm not giving that to you. Bruce's recording contact lenses are kind of creative pieces of bat tech we've seen in the comics for years since Grant Morrison's more gadgety secret agent approach.
Yes, I would say we saw them in the Court of Owls.
Well, according to this, there's never been an official contact lens in that manner.
He had
The bat
contact
cowl
lenses.
usually does it. The bat cowl. He does
No,
that.
he has contact lenses in the beginning of Court of Owls in Batman #1 from Snyder and Capullo that give him data on every face that he sees. That is 100% from the comic.
So wait.
That's a reference.
So that's a reference, and
is an
they
Easter
got
egg.
their info wrong.
Yes.
Because they say right here, while there isn't exactly a comic book parallel,
There
to
is
the
exactly a comic book parallel, and it's Batman #1 from 2011. Like, yeah.
I will admit, you know more than me. You are the crown.
You love
known
this.
the most.
You love that run, though. Like, that's.
I
yeah.
do. It's on my shelf right there, and I don't remember there being contact lenses.
Yeah. It's a blink and you'll miss it, but you know.
At one point, Oswald Cobblepot calls Batman the world's greatest detective, which has become
Yes.
I'll give that as an Easter egg.
That's a fun little reference. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Catwoman has been a big part of the Batman mythos since the very first issue in Batman in 1940. She was created. Okay, that's not a reference.
She
that's
is
just
in
padding.
the movie. Yes, well done.
Hey, all right, so in my complete guide, I got a freebie. It's like somebody playing bingo. Freebie. Catwoman.
Right, Catwoman. That's the center space. Like, thanks.
Them being romantically involved in the Batman is more modern day Catwoman because she was more of a straightforward villain back in the early days.
Yeah.
And then they reference that it's a reference to Batwoman. Oh no, they're just saying that is currently going on. That her being in a relationship is more current era.
Yeah.
And there's even a book right now, Batman Catwoman, where they're married and have the daughter Helena Wayne.
Yep.
So that still padding though. You're just saying, by the way, they haven't always had intercourse.
Yeah. Right. Like, is that okay? Yeah. How many more of these? Like, how much padding is in this list?
Is a lot, and if we get past the Riddler and it's mostly padding, we'll call it there.
Okay.
And we'll.
Because I'm just like, the Batmobile is in the movie, and he drives it in the comic books. This is a reference to the fact that there are multiple Batmobiles throughout Batman's movie history.
He likes cars. Just
Yeah.
a fun fact. He references that it's a car.
You know, I will say this, at least in this movie, he does seem to enjoy it. Like, I think he put, like, work into this car where he's like,
Yeah.
I think cars are cool. As opposed to all the other ones where he's like, I drive the cool car. Someone made it for me somewhere else.
Oh yeah, it does look like he's working on it in the movie.
Yeah.
In the movie, Catwoman's modern backstory in the comics is that she was an orphaned little girl. In order to survive the streets of Gotham, she learned to steal, quickly rise to the ranks of the criminal empire. Later in life, she would learn she was actually the heir to Gotham's criminal empire as the daughter of Carmine Falcone. More on that in a few minutes. Yeah, I will say that is a reference because it was
a Dark
almost
Victory reference. That is 100%. Yeah.
That is a definitely like, hey, we pulled that out of a recent comic book run and it's being taken straight into.
Yeah, like her stealing from Falcone in the movie, I was like, oh man, like in Long Halloween / Dark Victory, that's all. And then she drops the information. I'm like, that's great. Like, way to just pull that. Good idea.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good reference. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, well done.
While Selina hasn't yet become the larger-than-life cat-themed rogue from the comics, she wears a cat-like costume for a portion of the Batman.
technically true.
She also wears several other outfits throughout the film. One heavily inspired by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli's Year One. The black bustier that she dons while working as a dominatrix in the first issue of the storyline.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right.
I'll give that as a reference. I didn't even recognize that one, but I'll give that one as a reference.
Yeah.
The opening line, though, does sound like Catwoman wears clothes.
Right. Like many people in modern society. All right.
Shockingly and disappointingly, we didn't get nude Catwoman for the whole movie.
Right. Because DC stepped in and was like, never!
No, DC came in and said, superheroes don't have sex.
Bingo. Except when we totally greenlight it and it happens on the rooftops in full page like splashes.
At the end of the film, Selena says that she's going to Bloodhaven, which is okay, I'll give you that. That is a direct reference to, hey, Bloodhaven's on the other side of Gotham. Yeah. I've never understood this. Is Bloodhaven in Gotham, like
no,
Burnside?
It's its own city. It's its own.
Okay, but they're next to each other,
city.
right?
Yeah, it's like I would liken, because I know people say that like Gotham's like Newark. No, it's not. I've been to Newark. I live there. It's not the same thing. Gotham is New York City. Bloodhaven is Newark.
Okay.
Like it's a city technically, but it's in the shadow of a much larger city, and it's arguably because it's more dense and smaller. There's gonna be more concentrated crime.
Yeah. So that one I'll give is an actual. I would say reference. Still not an Easter egg because that's not like.
Yeah, they need to break these down by like reference, Easter egg, and bullshit.
Okay, now we're moving on to the Riddler.
All right, Riddler. Yeah, let's do it.
His first one is that when the Riddler got introduced, and who's played him over the years.
Yep.
That's more of a fluff piece, I'll say, but it seems like all the beginning of these is just where the character came from.
Right.
So I'll give you that one. At least you're opening with, okay, here's where he came from.
Yeah.
The second one on here is most fans know the Riddler by the name Edward Nygma. Get it? But in the Batman, his real name is Edward Nashton, which is another name he's gone by throughout DC Comics. There are several Riddlers from alternate Earths who have used that name. Other times, it has been established that the Riddler was originally named Edward Nashton, but changed his name to Edward Nygma for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's cool.
Comics gonna comic.
Yeah, I like that. I like them using like other aliases for the Riddler that were in the comics, and if he's gonna have to have other aliases, that's a reference. That's a straight.
I'll give that one. That's a good one, and I like that too. I will admit, I didn't know Nashton was like his actual name. I always just thought it was Nygma.
As a kid, I was in the exact same boat. Every time I would see Eddie, like, because I'd go back and read old books, and I'd be like, Eddie Nash, what? Like, but trust me, if you were introduced to Batman through the cartoon, and you wanted to like Clayface, you were like, well, I know Matt Hagen. What's all this other stuff? Why are they calling him Basil?
Yeah. I will admit, like something that people don't really know about me. I'm a huge Batman fan, but for me, my introduction to Batman was actually Batman 66.
Right. Oh, yeah.
My dad and I would watch that when I was little, and then the first thing that we watched together, because now we both had this love for Batman, was the animated series, and that's when I first started like really connecting with Batman stuff.
Yeah, which is a great place to start.
I still remember one of my favorite scenes, Batman on the invisible car, just like whipped around the town, and everyone's like, I didn't know he could fly.
That Invisible Man episode is straight up fire. Great animation and well written.
So moving forward, so we don't tangent too much. If you're new to the channel, we do that a lot.
We like Batman. Sorry.
This version of the character was inspired by the real-life Zodiac Killer. I'll say that is a reference, even though it's pretty commonplace knowledge at this point, because that's what they kept saying throughout the entire 4-year production of the series.
You are correct, yeah.
But I'll give it. That is a reference. That's not
It is a reference, yeah.
There's also horror movie elements to Riddler's modus operandi here, with elaborate traps and ironic punishments for his victims, recalling the Saw franchise many times.
That's fair.
And 7. Yes, I actually liked a lot of the ones I saw, like the cage on the head. I think it was like straight out of Saw, and I'm a horror movie fan. I'm pretty sure that was straight out of Saw.
Yeah, no, his attitude, behavior, his like diminutive size and demeanor, that was all 7. The traps and the archaic torture devices. It's a good blend, by the way, of Saw and Riddler, because there are like classic Riddler stories where Riddler, like there's one called The Riddle Factory, where Riddler puts people through similar traps involving like rabid animals, and it's like, ugh, like there actually are roots in comics for those references. It's not just creepy.
I mean, I liked it a lot, though. Like I said, I'm a horror movie fan. I'm a fan of the Riddler when he's done properly, not like, oh, I'm over the top goofy.
I mean, that is Riddler, too.
Batman.
yeah. I like a lot of different versions of the Riddler. My favorite's animated series, but I'll take it.
I mean, animated series is still good, but I think the animated series version of all the villains is like the best. So
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Riddler's army raises the specter of domestic terrorism, how lonely extremists in the real world can be radicalized online. The paramilitary survivalist cosplay aesthetic sure does recall a lot of clowns that have done things at the United States Capitol, for example.
Oh, okay. We're just gonna make it political. Well, here's
Yeah, I
the
was
thing.
like, so we're gonna not only are we gonna fluff, we're gonna political fluff this now.
Yeah, I will put it this way: like, they explain where supervillain goons come from.
That's
That's
when
a
you said
reference.
that in our review, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what they did.
Right? Like,
I
that's
did
so
not look
brilliant.
at it as Matt Reeves is trying to recreate the Capitol. No, I didn't.
No.
I'm pretty sure he just made Riddler goons
Yeah,
that
that's
fought
exactly right.
Batman. That's all that was.
Yeah.
Riddler's line about how his mask allowed him to. Riddler's line about how his mask allowed him to be himself echoes a famous Oscar Wilde quote: "Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask and he'll tell you the truth." Yeah, that's fluff because that's reaching.
Way to betray your English literature degree. Congratulations.
By the way, have any of you read the classic Oscar Wilde stuff?
Like, no, I just need this list to be 101 cool references in this movie.
Okay, so Hush references to Hush.
Okay, yes, there.
Okay,
found
now-
one.
His full face mask is almost reminiscent of the Hush banded visage. Tommy Elliott is a childhood friend of Bruce Wayne who is loathed and resented, a parallel Riddler's fixation on Bruce Wayne here. I'll give you that. Tommy Elliott's father in the comics, his name is Roger, not Edward, but the movie Elliott. But the movie Elliott's first name is Edward. In theory, that's our movie Riddler's first name too, unless of course it isn't. It's never definitively It's never definitively revealed if Riddler is so he's theorizing that he's the father of Tommy Elliott in this
Right.
convolutedly put together plot. You know what I find hilarious? You know what I find
Yeah.
hilarious about this? He says the mask is a reference to Hush,
Yeah.
and he's giving a theory that he is the father of Tommy Elliott.
Right.
You know what's not in here? The moment it said Hush on the screen,
Yeah, because it does.
it straight up says Hush in the movie.
Yeah, that's
But
a
you
reference.
missed that? But you want to tell me about your literature degree and Oscar Wilde's quote.
Yeah. Well, I only saw it the one time, and I had to write it literally a few minutes after I saw the movie.
Okay, the Zodiac Killer.
Yep.
Zodiac Killer used to taunt police with cryptic messages, occasionally in the... Okay,
Yep. That's a reference to that.
that's a reference to Zodiac Killer. Even the Riddler's question mark at the film was stylized in a gun sight-esque design, itself reminiscent of the Zodiac often signing his missives. Yes, also a reference to the actual killer.
Yep.
The first shot of the film, which shows the killer observing his victim from a rooftop, is very similar to the first shot of Dirty Harry, in which the film's villain does the same thing.
Okay.
Why is this in the Zodiac Killer of the article? Because the villain in that film is Scorpio, that was also based on Zodiac Killer.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'll give you reference, but it to me, it just struck me as more of a stylized choice to make us think that was Bruce Wayne and then make us realize what time period we were in. That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I feel they opened with that so that we would see the kid in the Zorro outfit and we would all go, oh, the origin again?
Yes, that's exactly
Only
what we
to
thought.
then go, nope, this
Nope.
is the mayor's kid. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's...
Yeah, that was... Yeah. Okay.
Oh, God. We have 4 bullet points on references to Barry Keoghan as the Joker.
Okay, let's hear him. Here we go.
And what do you got? After months of rumors and speculation, it's revealed at the very end that he is the Joker.
Yep.
He doesn't refer to himself as the Clown Prince of Crime during the brief scene, but it's pretty clear that at the very least, the man is on the verge of becoming said villain. At one point during the conversation, the Arkham inmate delivers the line, "One day you're on top, the next you're a clown."
Yep.
Okay, so I'll say it's
He
an
is the
Easter egg.
Joker, yeah.
I'll say that's an actual Easter egg.
Right, sure. Yeah, he is the Easter egg. Like, it's the Joker's in the movie, yeah. And he identifies himself as a clown.
Yeah. Director Matt Reeves has told us that it isn't quite the Joker yet, but a character who will eventually take that step. He won't commit to the idea that the Joker is the villain in the next movie, though. More on that here.
Yeah.
That's just fluff for your things. Why is it another bullet point?
To link to the article.
Yeah, that's all it is. In this universe, Joker also seems to coin the catchphrase, "Riddle me this."
Yeah, I don't
which
like
is the
that.
Joker's-
But that is a reference. Hey, a reference. That's a straight
is a
up
reference.
Easter egg that's like, hey, this is what Riddler says. Joker says it in this movie. What the hell?
And interestingly enough, the actor is actually credited on IMDb as Officer Stanley Merkel.
Yes.
Which is a fun Easter egg in its own right because Merkel is the often mentioned but never fully seen officer that works with Jim Gordon during the events of year one.
Yep.
But who was first introduced in a story that takes place later in Batman's career, The Dark Knight Returns.
That's true.
And is meant to be the Batman's. Is that meant to be the Batman's origin story, or is it a bit of trickery to hide his true role in the movie? It's trickery to hide his true role in the movie.
Yeah.
They're not going to go, oh my God, the Joker was actually Stanley Merkel.
Yeah, no. What? No, it's just a reference.
So this is just fluff. I say this whole segment is fluff other than saying the Joker was in the movie.
Yes.
Maybe the riddle me this thing. But,
Yeah, maybe
okay.
that. Yeah, we'll take
Penguin. Colin Farrell's own mafia-style Oswald Oz Cobblepot is a departure from the broad... Okay, so it's just talking about him
that's
again.
how he plays the character, huh?
Yeah.
He has a beak, like a penguin. Yep.
Speaking of his walk, while Oz definitely has a limp, there's a moment when he's full-blown penguin waddle.
Yes.
Yep, after the car chase, he's tied up, and he's like, guys,
Quack.
you're going to leave me here?
Yep, he sure does. That is a reference to him being the penguin.
But everyone's also mentioned it, but I won't take it away just because it's brought up everywhere.
Exactly. No, they're all lists. It's fine.
It says the complete list, so.
Yep.
Penguin is the proprietor of the Iceberg Lounge. I'll give that. Yep.
Yeah, the Iceberg
That it goes
Lounge.
into the Iceberg Lounge. I'll say that. I say it's an Easter egg. I agree. That's an Easter egg. Yeah.
Agree. Yeah.
Is it our imagination? Oh God, this is the next bullet point. Is it our imagination, or is there not an umbrella in sight for the usually umbrella-obsessed character, despite how Rainey Gotham is throughout this film? That's not a reference. That's not an Easter egg. I don't even think that's fluff.
No, that's
you know what I think that is? I think that's the writer writing down a note to himself and it got published.
Yeah, that's a mistake. That's. I mean, like he's not wrong. I thought umbrellas did come up with him, but yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so James Gordon is next, introduced in this year. Blah blah blah. The second thing is that he's the future police commissioner, so he's still a lieutenant when we first meet him, just like in year one. Would you say reference or fluff that he's just a lieutenant?
Because we've seen it so many times. We've seen Gordon in these movies. We get it.
He does his patented sneak away from Gordon maneuver on Jim.
Yes, he does. That's fair.
I'll give that as an actual Easter egg because he does it one time. If it was a regular reoccurring thing, I'd say, oh, it's just in the movie. But he did it one time.
Yep.
And I liked Gordon being like, wait.
Yeah, what the hell?
What?
No, that was great. Yeah, that's fair.
And then he goes on a whole tangent about how Gordon's working with him because it's year two and he's a lieutenant. And I'm just going to say fluff and not even read this paragraph.
Yeah, save yourself some time.
I read the first. Matt Reeves cleverly decided that we're in year two of Batman. And I'm like, we're good. That's fluff. Mm-hmm. Alfred, Earth 1 and the Wayne history. So now we're starting to lump them together. We're getting to the ending, Sal. Okay.
Alfred's played by Andy Serkis, who has commonly collaborated with Matt Reeves on the Planet of the Apes movies. Is that a reference? But no, I do hear where you're going with this. And yes, I think this is a reference. Because Alfred was like security detail for the Waynes.
Yeah, and that's quite obviously what he is in here. We even see like other people who work at the Wayne house, which I loved for the record because I was like, wait, Alfred doesn't manage the entire Wayne fortune, Wayne Enterprises, and the entire manor that is so big that in '89 they made a reference to, I don't think I've ever been in this room.
Yeah. No, there's no, there's like it's like a Batman 66 reference for like whatever her name is. Aunt Harriet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're 100% right. That's what it is.
Right? Like that lady.
We have created a reference for our video. It's Aunt Harriet from 66.
Yeah, and that old lady who like helps Alfred out, that's Aunt Harriet from 66. Like that's a reference to her. But yeah, no, Alfred being a security detail, like that's very, I think it's been implied that Alfred kind of was like that for the Waynes in previous comics, but it's mostly been cemented by Earth 1 and other like future versions of that of Alfred. So yeah, that's a reference. They used that. Like they used Catwoman's origin and her relationship to Falcone. Same thing with this.
Martha being a member of the Arkham family.
Yeah,
I'm going to kind of speed
one.
through these. I'm going to kind of speed through. I'm reading a little bit ahead of us now.
Yeah,
he makes a reference to Arkham family. That was a great reference because that was from that. Because I was talking to one of my buddies and he was like, "Oh, I don't like how they kind of gave a lot of mystery to the Wayne family." I'm like, they've been doing that for like 20 years now. Where they've been elaborating that the Wayne family isn't as clean cut as was in the 90s and 80s.
Yeah, no, and the implication that Martha's dad murdered their mother murdered their dad, that was Earth 1. Like, they just used Earth 1 for the origin of Martha Wayne, which I was like, wow!
And Alfred. Because
Alfred.
the toxic relationship, they got more of a toxic partnership of you need to do what I'm saying, Bruce, and Bruce doing what he wants.
Yeah.
That's very Earth 1.
Totally. No, that's kind of cool.
This version of Alfred is also a former British Marine who trained Bruce and taught him many skills that he utilizes the Dark Knight. He also lost one of his legs while saving Thomas Wayne during his time as a soldier, which is why he needs a cane to walk. Ah!
Yeah, I did not catch... I saw he had a cane, but it was more in close-up shots, and I was like, is there a cane? Is he missing a leg? That is straight up Earth 1 Alfred.
Yeah, I didn't... Because it's also the reason why he's not out helping him. Like, that's why in Earth 1, when he does, it's like, oh, he's out there doing it, you know?
Yeah, he's got one leg. How's he going to do it? It's great.
Falcone references. Okay, so the first one's always going to be the explanation of him.
Yep.
Falcone first appeared in Batman Year 1, 1987. That's a reference. And then it goes into claw marks on his face in that book. Yeah. And Kravitz did it in the movie. So yes, that is an Easter egg, I'll say.
Completely. Also his demise. Not that it was perpetrated by the Riddler in the comic, but she does lose him at the end of one of the books that they're referencing. Yeah, no, the claw marks. I was like, oh, they did the claw marks.
Yep, they did it. They did the claw marks, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Also, they're now referencing again that she is in his family, so now they're padding out the article with their own bullet points from earlier.
Just in case you weren't sure and you didn't skip over our list, let's do it again one more time.
Yeah. Batmobile is argued, and then it goes in... What did you say earlier, Sal?
I said, there are many Batmobiles in the Batman franchise.
Aside from giving us arguably the coolest Batmobile of all time, this movie brings back the famous car back to its roots in some degree. For much of Batman's history, the Batmobile has been a sleek roadster. After Frank Miller, and then it just goes into the cars and how we've seen it bloat in different incarnations.
Yeah, I mean, yes. On one hand, I'll give them this. The car usually has been sleeker and more car-like, than it has been like a tank. But is that a reference or is that just an aesthetic choice? Because we know Warner Brothers loved them cars.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They do say that it is a reference that it has the flame-spouting jet-like exhaust on the car.
Yep.
I'll give you that, because that definitely goes all the way back to 66 influences.
Exactly.
The Wayne's big secret in Batman R.I.P., the vile Dr. Simon Hurt leaks a made-up story about Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne depicting Bruce's father as an abusive, manipulative husband who only married Martha for her money while regularly participating in orgies and affairs.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in this movie, but
no.
But the idea of his father doing unscrupulous things. Hey, here's a reference. When Falcone refers to how Thomas Wayne saved him, like he went to his house, he got shot, and he did that. That's all from I think that's either Long Halloween or Dark Victory, but either way, it's
a part of that series.
It's straight up just they ripped it out of the comic. That's awesome. They didn't include that. There you go.
Lincoln March, a reference to Court of the Owls, claims to be the brother that Bruce didn't know he had. He believes himself to actually be Thomas Wayne Jr., a secret child hidden away in Willowwood Orphanage after a car accident.
Yeah. Yeah, but where is he in the movie?
Let me finish the paragraph, and you'll see that they don't
great.
even... I was reading ahead to see. I was jumping
sorry.
ahead. I was like, well, I'm going to condense this paragraph.
Yeah.
He believes that he's actually Thomas Wayne Jr., the secret child hidden away in the Willowwood Orphanage after a car accident caused a pregnant Martha to miscarry, a birth complication that left him paralyzed. Like Hurt's story, this is just a delusion that Lincoln created for himself. Where is... What? Because Simon Hurst not in the movie. Lincoln March isn't in the movie.
Yeah, no. And furthermore, that's an interpretation of what happens in that book. That's not what happens in the book.
What? I swear that the writer of this article left notes in spots and just forgot to finish some of it.
Right, like, you also have to connect it to the movie that you're saying is in there. Oh, right. I got nothing.
They didn't even say Court of the Owls. They didn't even come up in the movie.
They don't even come up. We don't even see an owl. Weak.
All right. Okay. That whole segment, padding, because they didn't even comment on the actual stuff from the comics. They were just like, in R.I.P., Simon Hurt did this, which wasn't in the movie. And Lincoln March thinks that he's the brother of Bruce, also not in the movie.
Yeah. No, not even the names.
Arkham Asylum appears. Why are they? Okay.
It's in the movie.
Well, it's only making us. Oh, yeah, because they do towards the end go to Arkham Asylum. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is all of this whole segment, 2 bullet points, explains where it came from, how often it's been in the movies, and what this might be referencing. That's all that is. They're saying that it might be referencing Arkham Asylum, a serious house on a serious Earth. Or on serious Earth. I always say that wrong.
Because it's in it?
I feel like these last bullet points is a good thing I'm speeding through them, or you're just going to get flustered and like, what the hell?
No, all right, I'll dial it back.
Batman's Journal in the Black casebook. This is the first adaptation to give us access to the Dark Knight's internal monologue, a major aspect of Batman comics that usually doesn't make it onto the big screen. But the voiceovers provided by Pattinson aren't just observations he's making while trying to solve the latest twisted case. They're actually excerpts from a journal he keeps. Yes, this Bruce keeps a record of his cases and progress that he's made to clean up Gotham. It also seems the only other way this much more broken version of Bruce knows how to vent. Okay, it's a cool reference. I liked the journal, but this isn't an Easter egg or anything.
Yeah. No.
Unless I can't think of a scene where in the comics where he did a reference in a book. Can you?
Not really. I mean, the fact that he's using a journal is a comic book reference, so I'll take that.
Wait. The next bullet point. Why? Oh God. In the comics, the existence of an actual physical bat journal goes all the way back to at least the 2000s. Grant Morrison introduced the Black Casebook, a record of the case. You know what? Now that I think about it recently, Damian stole the casebook. That has been around.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In Robin, he stole it. Remember? I don't know if you remember if you're reading Robin, but
I do. No, I am reading Robin. Yeah.
He stole the casebook to go wrap up one of Batman's cases early on.
Oh.
Or maybe it was in a Batman book. In current comics, he stole the casebook to finish a case that Batman couldn't solve.
Okay, cool.
0 Year. First they explain what 0 Year is, which is a storyline in which Riddler took over Gotham. On top of the current canon Batman origin story, 0 Year turns the Riddler into the first major supervillain and one of the most formative characters in the Dark Knight's journey.
Yeah.
Defeating the Riddler in 0 Year is how he turns his transformation to a symbol of hope and justice that Gotham needs, which is basically how the Batman ends. I'll say reference, but that's also Matt Reeves has said multiple times why he's using that, you know?
Right, yeah. But I do appreciate that is that feels like a reference too, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Sal Maroni is all references. They just list off who Maroni is. They don't go into that. Commissioner Pete Savage. There's never been a police commissioner in the comics named Pete Savage. Nope. Okay, so we're just going to move on. There was a Commissioner Loeb from Year One, which is a reference to Jeff Loeb, I think.
Oh, okay. So Loeb was originally created by Frank Miller in Year One, pre-Jeff Loeb working for DC.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait, because as soon as I said that, I'm like, no, wait, Jeff Loeb didn't work. I've never made that connection. So what do you think it's a reference to?
Well, because people think of Jeff Loeb because he wrote Long Halloween, which is a sequel to Year One, and there's a Loeb in Year One, so people naturally connect the two things, but actually there's no reference to Jeff Loeb, unless it's like a dual reference, where they're like, oh, that's cool. Either way, I don't know.
Maybe he just knew him as a friend or something at the time?
Yeah, I don't know Pete Savage, though.
Annika Kozlov is...
No. Yeah.
Disappeared at the death of the roommate. I will say yes, that's who, because I was trying to think of the name of the character in the comic they said here. Holly Robinson.
I assumed it was like a Holly analog. There was a Holly analog in The Dark Knight as well. Or Dark Knight Rises.
Because there's always that friend that Selina has that gets way too into things, which is what drives her to actually become Catwoman.
Bingo. So. Yeah, that's true.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Yeah, there are twins in the movie, and
That is who they... Okay, I'll give it that. I didn't even think of that. Those two at the door? Is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even think about that. Yes, in Batman 66, there was two villains known as Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Yeah.
And they were Tweedledum and Tweedledee. They were dumb. And that was the whole point.
Right.
The no guns comment, because Batman says no guns, and Gordon responds with, yeah, man, that's your thing.
I love that moment. Yeah.
I liked that moment, but I don't know if it's could be considered an Easter egg or a reference.
At least Batman doesn't use guns. That's...
Yeah.
And I've seen him in comics say no guns. That's a line he has in comics. So that technically counts.
Batman and Venom, towards the ending, I assumed it was an adrenaline shot. You said Venom. Yep. Everyone's assuming it's Venom.
It's got to be Venom. It's green.
I know it was green, and in my head initially went to Venom. The reason I discount it not being Venom is that's like a whole storyline in itself of Batman being addicted to Venom. Like that.
Yeah.
To just throw it in like that to me just is kind of a waste. He's using Venom.
There's a lot of wastes in these comic movies. I'll take it.
That's true. I'll take it. Okay. Taxi driver parallels?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I could see that in a lot of the tone and stuff like that, but we're starting to reach here.
Yeah, especially because I think in Year One, Frank Miller told Mazzucchelli that he wanted Batman, when Bruce Wayne infiltrates Selina's den, he wants him to look like Travis Bickle from Taxi
Yeah.
Driver.
The Joker gang has 4 bullet points.
Oh, wow. Like they're wearing white makeup like the Joker does.
Yeah, the movie begins on Halloween, which explains the Joker-esque Day of the Dead type gang menacing. Okay. Let's not forget, this is a bullet point. Let's not forget the Jokers of Batman Beyond.
Okay.
That's the bullet point.
Let's not forget that. Okay.
I will say this is kind of an Easter egg because Dylan also agreed with me. When the movie started up, that first kid with the half face,
Yeah.
that actor plays Tim Drake on the Titans TV show.
Yeah, I saw somebody mention that.
Like, and
What
Natalie
a weird
leaned over.
decision.
She's like, she leaned over and goes, "Is that Robin?" I'm like, yes, but no. Like,
Right. Yes, but I don't know what they're doing with it. What a weird decision.
Yeah, it was a weird decision to link that up. Like,
Yeah.
unless they're now stayed, no, because the timeline would not. I'm not even going to go into the whole.
No, it's just that they know him and they like him and they want him in the movie. But like,
Yeah.
But what?
Batman references to The Godfather. Pretty much they modeled Falcone after The Godfather. That was the vibe I got after that. So we're going to move past this one. That's just a reference. And we're at the last two, Sal. Last two.
Here we go.
References. Nirvana. Legendary rock and roll band Nirvana looms a large part of this movie, from Robert Pattinson being a recluse to a Kurt Cobain-esque performance as Bruce Wayne to the actual
I guess
Nirvana
that's
song.
fair. Yeah.
I, you know what? We've all been trying to guess where he got, like, decided to act like that. Yeah, I can see Kurt Cobain being where he gets that, you know, with the hair of the eye and the,
yeah.
just,
Well, just this like reluctant fame. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that as a good reference.
Right,
And the last one just says 39. It seems that many of the Gotham PD officers we meet in the film are from the 39th precinct.
Yes.
Batman first appeared in 1939, and the Goal Coulson's license plate number is also S397WD.
Yep.
Don't know what that reference is. What is that reference?
I have no idea.
Oh, 39. So S39. Okay, so 39 is just in there.
Just 39. Okay. They could have used 27 as well because it's Detective 27, but whatever. 39's fine. Yeah,
Yep.
I got it.
So going through this list of the complete, are we gonna say this is a great Easter egg list, a reference list, or just a lot of fluff?
It's a reference list with a lot of fluff in it. There's no Easter eggs in it. Like
No. They didn't, and I'll say there's not a lot of Easter eggs in these movies at this point.
No.
A lot of superhero movies are just a lot of references that get turned into Easter eggs as far as
Exactly.
people are concerned. But yeah, that is everything we've read in there, and our opinions on all these supposed references and fluff. A lot of this article is fluff. This is a lot of fluff. I'm actually surprised. I will give them credit for one thing, Sal. This article is, hold on, actually, you know what? I just realized I have an ad blocker on. I was going to say there's no ads on this.
Right, yeah. Well, I feel like there probably are.
I'm going to turn off my ad blocker for 1 second to see if that's why this has so much fluff. Hold on. We're going to get this.
Here, I just pulled it
On
up.
this website?
Oh,
Off.
yeah, no, there's tons of ads on this thing. I mean, there's
Is there?
Well, there's the side
Ad.
No, there's
Oh my God, there are so many ads.
Yeah.
There's an ad between every segment. Mm-hmm. There's an ad on the right-hand side.
There's an auto-playing ad.
There's an auto-playing ad. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a search box ad to join their mailbox. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of ads. Okay, that's why this list is so padded.
Yeah.
Because every time they break it, ad.
And Nam Newt in the comments of that 3 days ago said, "This isn't so much an Easter egg list, but you are including trivia items."
So it's a trivia list?
Yeah, it's a trivia list.
So, all right, well, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, just us going through. We got a few more themed ideas for Batman that are going to be coming out very soon, and then we're going to be moving forward into Doctor Strange stuff and Moon Knight stuff and just everything out there. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to join us here at the Absolute Armada. Join our family today, and we can all hang out and talk about your favorite stuff. See you guys next time.